Thank you for joining us for Ask Stacy and Amanda on Facebook Live. We post videos every single week, usually on Tuesdays, sometimes other special days, because obviously it's Wednesday. Today we are at Devil's Lake for the North Dakota Association of Financial Aid Admission or Financial.
I got you here, girlfriend.
Carrie's got me some help.
North Dakota Association of Student Financial Aid Administrators. NADASFA.
Thank you. And I say it all the time, but of course, under pressure, I'm like, So we're in Devil's Lake at the NADASFA conference, which, we get together all of the financial aid administrators in the state of North Dakota, and we do a lot of learning. So today we are talking about financial aid award letters. Obviously, it's spring, it's getting nice out, students are starting to make their decisions. So award letters. So Chris, what is an award letter?
An award letter is a notice that the student will receive and that will include their personal financial aid items that they are eligible for, and also the amounts of those awards. Many award letters will also include a cost of attendance, and the cost of attendance is an estimate of what it may cost to attend the school. This would include tuition and fees, books and supplies, room and board, and miscellaneous expenses. So those items are usually located on the award letter.
Okay, awesome. And I'm a terrible host, unlike Carrie here. I forgot to introduce my guest. So we have Carrie Huber, who you've met before. She's from the University of Mary, and she is the outgoing president of this organization, where Chris Meek, he's the director at Dickinson State University. He's the incoming president of the organization. So Carrie, Chris, that's great highlight about what award letters are. Carrie, are award letters ever called anything else?
I'm trying to blank here, Chris, so help me out. So we call them award letters or award notifications. Sometimes we will refer to them as your financial aid letter, something of that nature. So it's usually something within those acronyms to let students know what they are.
Offer of financial aid, something in that ballpark.
Yep, often referred to as like a financial aid package.
Oh,
yes.
As well.
For sure. So when should students expect to receive those award letters?
I think timing is dependent on the type of institution and where the institution is located. So Chris and I were talking earlier, dependent for UMary, we're a private school, so we will try to get our award notices out pretty early. So with early FAFSA, you can file October 1. We try to turn around and start awarding in mid-November to early December. Whereas I think in public institutions, a year later, correct, Chris?
Yep. Yes, and DSU had the letters out mid-March.
Okay.
And some of them are earlier, usually in January through March.
And typically you award in the order that the FAFSA was filed, or in the order that your institution received that FAFSA, right?
Right. Yep.
Okay. So just keep in mind, if you haven't gotten your award letter yet, it's probably dependent on when you filed that FAFSA. So Carrie, most students typically consider more than one school. I know not every student does, but if they consider more than one school, how should they go about deciphering and comparing their two offers of aid?
So basically what I do is I tell the student to compare all the facts on the award notice. So cost of attendance is clearly going to be different. So if we compare our schools, there's a difference between a private and a public in our cost of attendance. So look at those items and what they factor that to be, then look at what your offer is. And so maybe if the cost of the school is higher, you might look at more need-based aid, because that, again, higher costs you might need, lower costs you might not have needs. So you have to just compare them based on the data elements and try to get as apples to apples as you can. Do you have any?
Yeah, and I think it's important to kind of compare the net cost, which would be the cost of attendance and minus any grants and scholarships that you were offered from the school. So it's important to get that net price if you are comparing two schools.
Okay. So during this time of year, what kinds of aid should students expect on their financial aid award letter at this time?
I'll take that one. I think it depends. So for my school, we offer all students either a merit or participation type award if they're an incoming freshman. So I definitely want them to look for that. Depending on the results of the FAFSA, so I think that's really important that we have to stress the results, because that FAFSA is going to communicate an EFC, and that's used when we calculate. So,
and what does EFC stand for?
Okay, estimated family contribution.
Yep.
So depending on what that number means, students would look for a Pell Grant, a supplemental education opportunity grant. We call it SCOG, and some schools may say SEOG, would be a little bit fancier. Otherwise, you would also see maybe an employment award, which would be work study. Careful disclaimer with work study, you have to earn it. It's not, somehow you're magically going to get this money. It must be earned. And then loans, either subsidized or unsubsidized. And subsidized government takes care of interest, unsubsidized will accrue interest.
And Chris, are there other awards that come up later? Like when a student gets an award letter, like let's say I get my award letter right now in my inbox, that's not like my complete end of the line, right?
The award letter can always change based on scholarships that you may have not have gotten yet. If you have new scholarships coming in, that can affect some of the federal aid that you have received. Another thing is like the North Dakota State Grant, for example. When those are added, those can often affect other federal aid as well.
Correct. And typically, I don't know about your school, Chris, we wait to add any North Dakota State funds, so scholarship or the state grant, until after we receive notification from the state. So typically, our first offer will note that this isn't a final offer that's subject to change.
Yep, of course. Very similar to
Great. So if a student, looks at their financial aid award letters, their financial aid package, and compares them, they make that decision. They're like, okay, I'm going to this school. What is the process for, accepting that aid? So what should they do for school 1 that they are going to, and what should they do for school 2 that they decided against?
Go for it.
So when you receive an award letter, I think it's important to kind of decide. Some award letters state a time frame for you to accept your financial aid. So it is important to, take some type of action with the award letter, whether it be to accept or decline the awards. Because some of those awards, if they're not accepted, they do get re-awarded to other students that have that need as well.
And I think as far as the other school, so I don't know if you run into this, Chris, but we always wait and wonder, hey, did you do this? And in financial aid, we're trying to do everything we can to lift and make that college dream more affordable. So we don't want to take money away from you, and we do want to know. And it's a good idea to actively say, you know what, I've changed my mind about this, and let them know so we can give any aid that we could offer to someone else.
Yeah, that's great advice, actually. So if a student is stuck in any part of the financial aid award letter process, where can they go for help?
I think any school's financial aid office is willing to help. We're here because our goal is to help serve students and get them to the next level. So if you have that moment of questions, it's okay to ask for help and ask questions. And I don't think we expect students to understand everything they're getting, and sometimes they need us to navigate it. What does this cost me, and how do we do this? What's a direct, what's an indirect cost, all those good things.
Yeah. And not being a financial aid person myself, I'm kind of this weird outsider at this conference. This is my favorite conference to come to, just because the financial aid administrators, the people at this conference, they're so great. So seriously, students, parents, whoever, if you do need help deciphering your student financial aid award letter, you have questions about how to read it or what it really means, seriously, reach out to your financial aid office, because they're truly here to help. They're super friendly, and they want to help students. So that's kind of why you get into the profession, I think.
Yeah.
Yep,
Exactly.
Yeah. All right. So, I always like to do this in my videos. So what is your last piece of advice, either for current college students or students going off to their first year? It can be financial aid related. It doesn't have to be, though. So last piece of advice, Chris.
I would say from a financial aid standpoint, just to understand the awards that you're accepting, and only take out the loans that you truly need to pay for your school. We have a lot of students that take out way more loans than they need, and when it's time to pay those back, I guess they maybe didn't really understand that they had to pay them back, and oftentimes with interest. So I guess understanding your financial aid award and how much that you're going to have to pay to the school, and understanding what you're taking out that way.
Perfect. Okay.
Well, I look at college as adulting with training wheels. And so this is now the students' time to start learning things in a comfortable environment. So if they don't understand their financial aid award, reach out to that office, ask questions, understand, ask how you can maintain a debt load, or keep your loan borrowing down to a minimum, because we're here to help, but also reach out to any other of your campus offices that are willing to help you and understand things, because that's why we're here, and we're only as good as you, the student, reaching out.
Yeah, and I know I stress this, Stacy stresses this, it doesn't matter if you ask the right person, it matters that you ask somebody, because they will get you going to ask the right person. So just ask anyone. Let's see. Oh, thanks for the great information. Thanks, Ryan. Appreciate it. So yeah, that is all we have today. Just remember to turn on your live notifications. Leave us a comment below if there's topics in the future that you'd like Stacy and I to cover. But otherwise, we are signing off from Devil's Lake, and we're going to go learn lots about financial aid. So we will catch everyone next week. So thanks to both of you.
Thank you.
Thank you.